All right. So I'd like to, first of all, thank everyone for coming out today. And for those of you that are joining us via Facebook, thank you for participating. Today marks a very monumental occasion for us. We're upholding our promise and commitment to the continued demolition here at the Packard Plant. And so those promises that we made, we're keeping them today. I would also like to make note that this particular project is monumental for the demolition department as well, because it's Women in Construction Week, right? And so we're very honored to be able to say that this particular demo, while it's a very monumental demo for the city of Detroit, and it means a lot to that blight eradication, we've had women touch every phase of this demo project. So from the very beginning, from development all the way through the completion and processing those invoices, a woman has touched this particular project. So we're very pleased to be able to share that with you today. Now, real quickly, I want to give you some information about this particular location. This is, as you already know, the Packard Plant, right? It was last inactive back in 1956, and today we're going to start the demolition effort of about 200,000 square foot of floor space at this particular location. And this is the beginning of the three more parcels that will come down as well. We estimate this portion to take about 5 to 6 months to complete, and we have a Detroit-based business by the name of Adamo who is handling this demo effort for us today. None of this, however, would have been possible if it had not been for our fearless leader, Mr. Mayor Mike Duggan, and I'd like to bring him up for you.
Well, thank you, Luan, for the great job that you're doing across this city. 68 years ago, Packard Motors stopped operating in this plant. And for 68 years, the ruins of this building have been a weight around the neck of Detroit's recovery. And nobody could figure out what to do about it until now. But because of Joe Biden and the American Rescue Plan, Detroit has resources that we've never had. We've got the ability to take this down, and it will all come down in 2024. We're starting today on this southern section, which is about $1.2 million in demolition. But right now, on the other side of Grand Boulevard, the environmental abatements are already starting, where another $12 million of demolition will occur later on this year. And by the end of 2024, the Packard Plant will finally be history. But it's not enough to knock things down. And so our Economic Development Department in the next 2 months is going to be putting out proposals for a new auto supplier for this site. We are just yards away from GM's Factory Zero. And as we saw on the Cadillac stamping site on Connor and the old AMC headquarters on Plymouth, when you knock down these abandoned facilities, you can very rapidly get new plants to put Detroiters to work today. And we are going to convert this from an abandoned building to a vibrant employment center over the next 2 years. The one part we are preserving is right on Grand Boulevard, because this plant is a big part of Detroit's history. And so if you look on Grand Boulevard right now, on the south side, you'll see that building that we preserved that's already secured with Clearview. And we're going to do the same thing on the north side. There'll be a small section of the plant on each side of Grand Boulevard that will be incorporated in any developer's proposal, so that we can both recognize the history of what's been done here at the same time that we're building the future. So I didn't know if we were ever going to get a chance to do this, but it's really good to have Joe Biden as your friend, and I sent him a note this morning to thank him about what is happening. And we have had strong support every step of the way, taking these abandoned factories and turning them back to good use from Detroit City Council. And so I'd like to introduce the council member from this district, President Mary Sheffield.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you and good morning. Well, good afternoon, I should say. The sun is shining bright. What a beautiful day in our city, for the history of our city, and today really is showing the progress that we are making in the city of Detroit. We're also honoring the past, as the mayor mentioned, by preserving as much as we could from this historic site, but also this is just really an indication of our commitment to the future of our city and to the growth and redevelopment of Detroit. I know this community really wanted to see this site develop. I remember almost 9 years ago, it may have been more than that, when we had a proposal for this site. We were excited. We were energized about what this could have been. And unfortunately, that did not work out, but we never gave up. We did not give up on the future of this particular proposed site, and I'm looking forward to see what will come in the future for this particular site. This community deserves it, our city deserves it, and as the mayor always says, we are committed to transforming every community in our city, from blight to beauty, focusing on taking down eyesores, dilapidated buildings that cannot be saved, and creating spaces for productive use. So on behalf of the residents in District 5, we are proud to see the city's commitment, our commitment, council's commitment, demolition department, all that are here today to say that we're going to continue to redevelop this site and make sure that it is put to productive use. So thank you to Director Counts for all that she is doing, not just at this site, but throughout this entire city as it relates to commercial demolition, to make sure that we are cleaning up our city and putting people to work and creating spaces that are vibrant and productive. So thank you on behalf of District 5, and I will now turn it over to our District 5 manager, Mr. Roberson.
Thank you, Council President. My name is Josh Roberson. I serve as the District 5 manager out of the Department of Neighborhoods. I would like to welcome you all today to a neighborhood called Gratiot Town Kettering. It is comprised of about 10 block clubs and 2 neighborhood associations, and the neighbors are excited about what's happening here. About 7 different neighborhoods surround this area, and they will be positively and immediately impacted. And today, this demolition today, serves as a fulfillment of the promise that this administration made that every neighborhood has a future. And so we have neighbors that are with us today, and one of those neighbors is the leader of the Packard Community Association. Her name is Miss Valeria Berry, and I'll have her come up and talk.
Good afternoon, everyone. And let me say thank you. Thank you to my mayor. Thank you to my city councilwoman, president. Thank you, Ms. Counts, because they've given us hope. Hope again, and we can see life in our city. With this building standing here, we could not look out to see anything. So now the neighbors will be able to see this building dilapidated and be able to look out across and see life. So I thank you for that, Mayor. I hope to be able to see a community garden and a playground for the children, and with one of those buildings that you preserve, that we'll be able, the community can go in there and use it as a community building to do things in the community to bring us back together. So I thank you all for this opportunity, and I appreciate you.
Now, that concludes the speaking portion of the presentation today, but we would like to open it up for questions from media.
Yes. I'm not sure it's unanimous up here that everybody wants me to run again. But I feel like I'm talking to my mother. My mother is 88 years old. And I was born in 1958 right down the street at the old St. Joseph Mercy Hospital, which got taken down for the GM Polton plant. And my mom tells me that as my father was driving her to the hospital 65 years ago, she drove past the abandoned Packard plant. And she said, I just want to live long enough. You're supposed to be such a good mayor. It seems like the least you could do is get that plant site redeveloped. So now I am going to get this done so you and my mom both get an opportunity to see this redeveloped in a way that you're proud. All right. We have the greatest construction leader in the United States, and she has promised me, so I'll let her promise you. Lawan?
Look at me.
So majority of what you see standing, except for the portions that we have intended to preserve, you will see majority of those down before the end of the year. There will be significant amount of work still to do, and we'll still be in the area doing a lot of that work into the beginning of 25. But for the most part, majority of the structure will be down by the end of this year.
Anybody else?
Some of the future prospects. Are there any commitments yet? Are we just looking for
Well, we're going to go out for proposals, but I've had a number contact me, and I think people have watched Cadillac Stamping sat there empty for 40 years, and as fast as it came down, we got a Lear seating plant that's employing 700 people today. That AMC site sat empty for 25 years, and already you've seen it completely built out and about to open. There is significant demand in this location, both for the Jeep plants and the GM Factory Zero. This is prime location, and so there is a lot of interest. We're going to go out for a competitive bid and take proposals, but we're going to start that this year so that nobody wanted to bid on this. They thought they were going to spend $15 or $20 million on demolition. The numbers wouldn't have worked. Now that we have the demolition handled, our goal is to award this to somebody to redevelop it as the last of the walls are coming down.
you know the total demolition bill yet?
It's got to be $20 million.
We're estimating about $26 million.
$26 million. We started a few years ago down there. It's gone now, but the plant used to run all the way down there. So we've been chipping away at this a section a year, but I never thought I'd get to see it done this quickly.
Was American Rescue Plan, did they pay for all the $26 million, or was there some city funds?
Pretty much. Some of it came through the state of Michigan, which was American Rescue Plan money, and I think all of it now is American Rescue Plan money. We had some earlier phases that came out of demolition money, but the vast majority is American Rescue Plan money.
Is there lead and PCB in the soil here? What are you dealing with in terms of toxicity?
So currently, we don't have any concerns as far as that type of material, because what we're doing is called an alteration. So we're taking the structure down to the grade. So pretty much what you're standing on is what will be mirrored in the demo areas.
What about the artwork inside there? Is there any concern for attachment to some of the more vaunted pieces of art?
If somebody wants one, I guess they can have it, but so far nobody's expressed an interest. All right, thank you all very much. Let's see this thing start to come down.
Very good.
What were you looking for? Oh, sorry, go ahead.